Look at this man. The poor guy is deeply troubled by his increasing weight. For the past several years, he tried everything to reduce his obesity. But because of his habit of overeating, not a single day passed where he saw even a slight drop on the weighing scale. Then one day, a man curses him to become thinner. At first glance, you might think this is a good thing. How is this a curse? He wanted to lose weight, and now it was happening automatically, without any exercise or dieting. But the trouble was that his weight just kept falling. The more he ate, the more weight he lost. How does this man save himself from that curse? To know the full story, keep watching today's movie, titled Thinner. The story begins by showing Billy. Billy is a lawyer by profession who deals with high-profile clients. He has plenty of money, and if you wanted to win a case, Billy was undoubtedly the best lawyer in town. Despite solving the world's problems, poor Billy couldn't deal with his own. His only problem was his obesity. He had a terrible habit of eating constantly, causing his weight to increase until he reached 300 pounds without even realizing it. Billy was very happy with his wife Heidi and daughter Linda, but Heidi was also troubled by his eating addiction. She consulted a doctor and put Billy on a diet. He worked hard, but the result was zero because he couldn't control his habits. Still, their lives were moving along. At least they had money and respect. For several months, Billy had been fighting a case for a mafia boss named Richie, who was accused of a serious murder. Billy might have been lazy and heavy, but he knew one thing perfectly: defending his clients in court. He was a master of words, and thanks to this skill, he eventually got Richie acquitted of the murder charges. The judge declared Richie innocent and closed the case. Richie thanked Billy because anyone else would likely be rotting in jail. One day, while going to his office, Billy noticed that some Romani gypsy people had set up a carnival near his office. These were nomadic people who lived in vans and traveled from city to city, making a living through carnivals. However, they chose the wrong spot this time, right outside the courthouse. This bothered the judges and lawyers. Under orders, the police began forcibly removing them, which angered the community. We see a girl named Lancy. She was very beautiful, and many lawyers were staring at her. Lancy, furious about being evicted, teased Billy by showing her body. As Billy stood there drooling, Lancy spat on him and walked away. Billy didn't care much about that. He had to attend Richie's party with his wife that night. At the party, Billy tried to overeat again, but Heidi stopped him. On the way home, Billy told Heidi he was having intense cravings. Heidi began to seduce him in the car, wanting him to focus on her instead of food. Meanwhile, an old man was at a pharmacy getting medicine for his daughter. His daughter felt cold and went outside to get her coat. By a stroke of ill fate, Billy was driving on that same road, completely distracted by his wife. When the woman suddenly stepped in front of the car, Billy couldn't brake in time. She was killed instantly, and Billy was arrested for a hit and run. Billy refused to admit it was his fault, claiming an accident isn't a crime. Being a cunning lawyer, he used his influence. The judge and a police officer, Duncan, sided with him, showing no sympathy for the dead woman, especially since the old man and his daughter were allegedly caught shoplifting earlier. The judge dismissed the case, seeing his daughter's killer walk free. The old man was consumed by rage. As Billy left the court, the old man approached him, stroked Billy's cheek, whispered a single word, "thinner," and left. Billy had no idea he had just been cursed. The next day, Billy weighed himself and saw he had lost 40 pounds. He was shocked, but initially thought it was the result of his diet. He was happy at first, but then his friend, the judge, showed him a strange mark on his body. A doctor named Mike called it a common skin disease, but the judge was terrified. He told Billy that after the verdict, the old man had touched him and whispered something. Soon, Billy lost another 30 pounds. He was now so thin his clothes didn't fit. Heidi feared he had cancer and insisted on a checkup. Dr. Mike found that Billy's vitals, heart rate, cholesterol, BP, were all normal. Billy began eating even more to gain weight, but he continued to wither away. Billy realized the curse was real. He visited the judge's wife and found her weeping. She revealed that her husband, the judge, was in a horrific state. His skin was essentially rotting off because the old man had cursed him too. She blamed Billy for everything and kicked him out. Billy called Richie to ask if he believed in curses. Richie's mother confirmed that gypsy curses are real and can only be lifted by the one who cast them. Billy then visited Officer Duncan and found that half of Duncan's body had swollen up like a balloon. Desperate and miserable, Duncan committed suicide shortly after Billy left. Billy suspected Heidi and Dr. Mike were having an affair because Mike was constantly at his house. Angry and skeletal, Billy left a letter for Heidi and went to find the old man. After a long search, he tracked the gypsies to another town. He saw that the old man had cursed others too. Some had turned into living dolls. Lancey attacked Billy with a slingshot, wounding his hand. Billy called Richie for help. Richie, seeing Billy's skeletal state, was horrified. He also informed Billy that Heidi and Mike were trying to have him declared legally insane to get rid of him. Richie used his mafia power to terrorize the gypsy camp, killing Lancey's husband and threatening the rest until the old man agreed to meet Billy. At a lighthouse, the old man met the dying Billy. He expressed his pain over his daughter's death but agreed to lift the curse with a catch. He produced a strawberry pie and mixed Billy's blood into it. He explained that the curse was now inside the pie. If Billy ate it, he would die quickly and painfully. But if he fed it to someone else, the curse would transfer to them and Billy would be cured. Billy's weight began to return. Driven by revenge, he took the pie home and gave it to Heidi, calling it a surprise. The next morning, he found Heidi's shriveled, dead body in bed. He felt he had achieved justice. However, he then saw 2 dirty plates in the sink. His daughter had also eaten the pie. Devastated by the realization that he had accidentally killed his daughter, Billy decided to commit suicide by eating the remaining pie. But just as he was about to take a bite, Dr. Mike knocked on the door. Realizing Mike's betrayal, Billy's grief turned into one last act of malice. He invited Mike in to have a piece of the pie, ending the movie on a chilling note. If you had the power to curse someone, who would it be? Do you think Billy did the right thing? In my opinion, he could have made a better choice by setting his ego aside. Killing is never a solution. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.